Hello everybody, welcome to a new Thanos video. In this video, I am going to be making TNT arrows. Now, this is my very first video, and obviously I'm going to be doing this with command blocks, just like my About Me says. Yeah, and let's just get started. So I'm going to grab out some blocks to hide the command blocks behind, because let's be honest, they're not the prettiest thing in existence, and let's just grab a button to activate it. Now let's get our command blocks. Okay, so my idea for how to get this done is I'm going to have a few different command blocks. The first one is going to give you a special bow, a certain tag I can detect. Then I'm going to have a few other command blocks that are going to detect when an arrow is shot. And then it's going to detect if the bow was the special bow. And if it was, it's going to tag the arrows. And then I'm going to detect when one of those arrows lands. Check if it has the tag, and then make it blow up if it does. So I'm going to get started with the give bow command. Now, command blocks don't have the functionality to make custom enchantments, but I can make a fake enchantment, which is going to be almost identical, except grindstones to work on them, and you can't get them on enchanting tables. But I think we can still make something really cool. Okay, I've slapped something together, and let's see. Okay, this looks promising. Yep, perfect. Now, of course, explosive is not an actual enchantment. It doesn't do anything yet, but it looks really cool. I just set the lore to explosive 3, and the lore is basically just some text that goes under the name whenever you hover over it, and I also gave it an enchantment glint by tricking the game into thinking there's an enchantment on it, and I also added a quick tag to the bow to detect if it is a explosive bow. Now, I think I should get started with the arrows. So first, I'm going to add something that will tag the arrows if it is explosive. What I'm thinking is that whenever there's a new arrow, it will take the nearest player in a certain range. It's going to assume that that player shot the arrow. And then it's going to check if that player is holding the correct bow. Now, this could be a bit faulty if it were shot by a mob near a player, but sadly, this is the best we can do with command blocks, as they don't exactly have the most functionality in existence. But I think this could work. So I'm going to type in that command right now. Okay, I have the first command block. Now we just need to add something to make sure that it knows if something has been tested or not, because you can't just detect when an arrow was just launched. You have to run as all arrows and see if it's been tagged yet. And if it hasn't, then run the stuff, then tag it so it doesn't get run again. So that should be pretty straightforward. I can just do execute as all arrows and make sure they don't already have the tag. And then if they don't, tag it. So this should work. It should tag arrows based off the nearest entity. And then it should only do that once, which is important, because if you shoot at a zombie or something, the arrow will eventually be closer to the zombie than to you. And then it will check if it has the bow, and it won't because it's a zombie. So it will no longer be explosive. And that's bad. Now we just need to make it so it actually explodes, because as of now it doesn't do anything. Oh. Uh-oh. It didn't add the other tag. Must have done something wrong. But the good news is it is getting processed. I'm going to have to look through this a bit more. I'll get back to you in a minute. Oh. Oh, I'm silly. The nearest entity is the arrow. Oh my god, I'm stupid. Give me a minute. Okay, I can fix this. Okay, now make sure that it's not an arrow, but oh, this is gonna be tedious. I have to make sure it's not an armor stand or anything like that. Ugh. Okay, the command has immediately gotten much, much larger, but I added a bunch of conditions to make sure that it's a living entity. Now, I'm sure I missed a couple things, but the vast majority of the time, it should work as intended. Yep, okay. It now knows that this arrow is explosive, and if I use a different bow, it doesn't get the explosive tag. Okay, that is perfect. Now we need to make it so they actually explode. We can easily do this with a tag on arrows of whether or not it has landed. So I can just check for landed arrows with the explosive tag. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, so this first one here, it explodes all the arrows with the explosive tab in the ground, and then this one will kill them so that it doesn't keep exploding. Let's see. Perfect. Now I need to real quick hide these messages in the chat because they're getting really annoying. Okay, perfect. Let's see. Yep, it seems to work absolutely perfectly. And with only 5 command blocks. But there's one little problem. Let's come over here. Let's make a little pen for a zombie. I don't want him to burn. Keep this test accurate. Okay. Now, here's the problem. If we hit the zombie, absolutely nothing happens. Now, because of how arrows work in Minecraft, they are no longer an entity whenever they hit a monster. And therefore, we can't really detect when we just can't really detect when an arrow is about to hit a mob, or it hits a mob. Which means we can't explode it on mob impacts, only ground impacts. But, luckily for us, we can do the next best thing, which is just make them do a bit more damage. And to do that, we can just alter a little tag on arrows called damage. So we can just bump that up a bit. Perfect. Now, you've probably noticed that the less charged up the bow is. Uh-oh. Luckily, command blocks are explosive proof, but oh, that's not good. You've probably noticed that whenever you shoot a bow without charging it up much, it doesn't go far, and it also doesn't do much damage. Now, we should probably account for this, so we can't just increase the damage. We have to multiply the damage, which is going to take a couple extra command blocks, because we're going to have to use scoreboards, but I think we can do it. Oh, I hate scoreboards. So we need to store its current damage in a scoreboard, multiply it, then put it back into the... Okay. Let's get cracking. While recording this, I soon found a problem with what I had done. It wasn't doing any more damage, and I couldn't figure out why. And then I soon found out I made a huge mistake. I had like a 5 IQ moment and decided to put the command block in the wrong chain. So it would seem to always be running after processing, and therefore the process tag was added and it wasn't running. Luckily, I managed to figure that out pretty quickly, and it's working fine now. I don't know what I was thinking, but it should conceivably work now. And it just one-shotted that poor zombie. Okay, this might be a little bit overpowered. And we use a normal arrow. Yep. That seems about right. Cool. So, we've successfully made explosive arrows that also do extra damage. Oh, wow, that's so cool. Now, I think it should also even be compatible with power now. Oh god, I don't want to see how much damage that does. That's gonna be a lot of damage. I also managed to shorten that part down to 1 command block, because I realized I didn't need the middleman of scoreboards. I could just go directly from data to data by storing the result of an execute command into the data, and whenever you get data from something, you can also scale it, or like multiply it. So I could just multiply it by 3 when I got it, and then store it back in to the mob. Sorry, not a mob, the entity of the arrow as the damage. So that works perfectly. I'm really proud of this. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll be putting all the commands down in the description. I'll never get enough of this, though. And just to make sure it's a little bit balanced, I'm going to try missing the zombie and making sure it's about the right amount of damage. Okay, I need to increase the multiplier. Let's change that to 4 times. I should be able to one-shot zombies now. Yeah. Okay. But this is kind of overpowered. I don't think I should have this. Let's hope nobody finds a way to implement this in survival. But I think this is so convincing. Like, it looks like I have a mod on, and it has an actual enchantment. Anyway, thanks for watching so much. Please like and subscribe. I'm a new YouTuber. I could really use it. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a great day.